Heaven must be something like this. Heaven must be something like this. Heaven must be something like
What's up, you guys? I'm Lauren.
What's up? It's your boy Ave.
I'm Kennedy, and today we're just going to answer a couple of questions. You know, we're going to get into just telling the truth about this last series we did on, keep running your race, all that great stuff. So, yeah, first I'm going to answer a question. Let's see. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Okay, I think mine would be mind reading because I just think that's really, really cool. And I would love to just know what people are thinking. But at the same time, I feel like that would also be kind of bad because, like, what if people thinking negatively about me? But hey, it's okay though. It'd be just really cool. But anyway, guys, how did y'all feel about the pandemic in the beginning? Like, what were your thoughts? What were the feelings that y'all were having? What are you feeling, Avion?
Me personally, I feel like when March first hit, and I think after that spring break, I think it was gonna be like 2 weeks. We going back to school, everything's gonna be cool. Then that 2 weeks turned into like a year.
Yeah.
It was like, but I think it started to like change, like around like April, May. I feel like I started getting used to things and whatever. But I had a rough patch, but I also overcame them, so everything is good.
Yeah. Lauren, what about you?
I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of the same. Like, when it first started, I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this time. I can do so much stuff. I can, like, sleep finally. And then after a while, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, can we go back to normal? Like, I'm tired of this. But yeah, I kind of got used to it. And then, like, the new school year started, so it's like a whole new adjustment and stuff. But yeah, I like it. I'm in person now, so it's all good.
Okay, for me, the pandemic at the beginning, I kind of, like, I was over here talking about, who wants to go hang out? Like, I'm free, like, spring break, 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, this whole thing. And then my mom was like, Kennedy, you're not leaving the house. And I was like, what? I was like, what is wrong? Like, why not? Because, like, I was just like, I didn't really think about how serious, like, coronavirus was until they were like, okay, everyone's staying in the house for, like, 2 months. Was it a month? And when I heard that, I was like, okay, I need to just make this positive. So I went out with my dad, got like art supplies, and I was like painting in my room, coloring in my room. And then like, it didn't really hit me that like, I wasn't gonna be able to do any of the stuff I had planned for the summer. Like I was going on a mission trip, I was going to all these camps like for church, and I was going to Pine Cove and all this stuff. And so like, I just tried to keep like a positive attitude, and I was like, okay, like, this camp's getting canceled, but I still have this camp. And I was like, all this stuff just kept getting like shut down. But I still ended up going to Pine Cove because I made a presentation. I made a presentation to go to that camp because I love Pine Cove. But after Pine Cove, I think I kind of my joy started coming back a little bit more. And I started to just kind of, my faith started growing stronger, I think. And I, like, all the struggles I was going through, everything I was going through, like, I was really, really busy. But like I knew like I wasn't alone, and like I had God like right next to my side the whole entire time, and I think that's what kept me so positive and so active during COVID and the pandemic. And yeah, so that was my coronavirus experience, and I'm just glad to hear that we all overcame it and we all are safe and happy and all that good stuff. So now we're gonna get into the questions, and we're gonna just tell the truth about this last series we did. And Avion, you wanna get into it?
Oh yeah. So question 1 was, what do you think about the Run Your Race series? What do y'all think?
Okay, I was talking to my mom the other day about it. I was like, I really liked the series a lot because even though like I haven't really been struggling with keep staying motivated and keep going through this whole year, it's still like I still wrote down notes, I still watched the series, to just make sure if I ever have those moments where I'm really struggling and stuff, I can go back and be like, okay, you can do this to overcome it.
Yeah.
And like that's how I feel about the series. So what do you think, Lauren?
That was literally me. Like I was the one like I needed this because like this year was hard. Like as a junior, you just get like overwhelmed with all the stuff that you have to do. You know, you're thinking about college, you have hard classes, you're trying to like make sure you still have a social life during the pandemic. Like it's difficult. But I think that it was definitely needed since like it's almost end of the year and like we're almost there. I'm almost a senior. I'm almost out of here. So I think it was like a great end to the school year, especially because we have like finals coming up. We have AP tests coming up. Like I think it was like perfectly timed. I think it was so motivating and like refreshing to just get that extra boost before summer, and then you can like finally like relieve yourself and just have some fun. So I think it was like perfect for this time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I feel like this was like the best series I ever experienced, and I think that when you win your race, you're supposed to have people on the side of you, but at the same time, all of you are going into one location, but at the same time, only one of you are going to get first place.
Yeah.
So I had to run my race alone, and I couldn't really take people beside me. So it's just it was a struggle, but the series helped me kind of get the clarity of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess I'll go second.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. What does this say? Okay, it says, what is your favorite worship song and why?
I love that
I
question.
just song suggested.
I got a lot. Let me see. Revolution by Kirk Franklin. It always gives
That's
me
a good
hope.
one. That's a classic.
good
That's a
one.
classic.
Yeah, but I tell you why it's my favorite song, because it's I personally like the intro because it's like, oh yeah, that was hard. But I think the whole message of the song is just it's like we gotta basically just stand together and fight the evil spirits that surround us. And I think that's one of the most fire songs I ever like really experienced.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a good song. So what's the next question for the?
Who have been some good runners in during the pandemic?
Oh gosh. I would have to say my granny. Like honestly, like when the pandemic started, like she was just so encouraging. And even though like she couldn't go anywhere because like she's older and like she didn't want to get COVID or anything like that, it was nice just still being able to connect with her, and like I had more time to spend with her and stuff. But it was really hard because like she passed away during COVID, and so like couldn't really have a funeral. And then I was like, who is like my person? And it kind of like just became my mom, and like there were other people who kind of stepped up for me. And I think that it's so important to have those people, because when you don't, it's really difficult. Like especially in COVID, like you already feel alone, and then it's even harder when you feel like there's no one there beside you to go through it with you.
Yeah.
So I say like if you don't have a person, definitely like look out for those people. Like maybe it's your volunteers, maybe it's friends that you already have, but just like lean on those people, because you're gonna need them eventually.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, and like it's not necessarily someone to like throw all your stuff onto, but someone who can kind of give you advice and just encourage you. Because of course God is, but I think it's different when you hear it from like someone else who you trust and you can like physically like see and touch and like all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
So I think it was awesome that I have people like that, and I hope that everyone else can find people like that too.
Yeah. I think one of the best role models that I've ever had, my mom. Like me personally, like it's crazy because during the pandemic, my mom, like when it first started, my mom, she was still at work. And I was like, yay, I'm at home by myself, get to play my music loud, I get to play the game. But when she came home with a computer stuff, I was like, what you doing? But I was like, I think it was the best experience for me because she's at home and I get to see her every day. I get to talk to her and I get to learn from different experiences that she's experienced. So
Yeah, for sure. My runners with me this season, I think, were a lot of women in my life. Like my mom, my mentor, and like my mom. She, like, during COVID, like, we had like a lot of bonding time because me and my mom are both very social, and like my mom knows, like, okay, Kennedy cannot stay in the house for this long. So like we would, like, during 4th of July, went to go ride scooters together, and she kind of just like helped me like lift up my spirit during that time. And like she encouraged me to just join all these different like leadership opportunities that I am in now. And I'm just very grateful for all the things that she's helped me do and encouraged me to do. Because like without her, I don't think I would have done half the things I did during COVID. I've been too nervous, too scared. And yeah, I'm just very grateful. And then like my mentor, she's just like really awesome, and it gave me a new person to talk to because like what Lauren said, like I feel like I love talking. And so, I'm gonna be honest, I love talking. And like I like getting feedback too, but I also like having that person that listens to you. And so like I was like kind of going through like a rough patch during COVID, and I told my parents, I was like, Mom and Dad, I love y'all, I care for y'all, but listen, I think I might need a therapist, friends. Because I was like, I have God by my side, I know I have God by my side, but I feel like I need someone that can like give me professional help and give me like just an ear to listen to, and like that really helped me during COVID, and that was like one of my favorite runners, was Miss Dory, my therapist. So yeah,
because it's different like when you have someone else who like doesn't already know you, and you can kind of like share like each other's lives with each other, I guess, and like kind of get advice from like someone who is looking outside the situation as opposed to like someone who's already in it, like your parents or like your sibling or something.
Sure.
I feel like it gives like you new perspective on what's going on, so you're not like stuck in your head or thinking that like this is the only way that it's gonna be. So.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Lauren, I guess it's your turn.
I'm scared. Okay. Oh my gosh. It says sing a song using the word love within the song. I cannot sing for crap, you guys.
I will sing for you.
I can't. I can only think of Beyonce.
Go for it. And then sing, and then like, you know how she keeps going up and up and up?
No.
Do that.
No. I can't think of the rest of the song, but it's Love on Top by Beyonce.
Go for it. Sing
my
it.
gosh. I can't. Put my love on top.
Okay, keep going.
Put my love on top, 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 top.
Yeah.
Yay. Fantastic.
So let's go to the third question. I think so the third question is, what are some like weights that you had to let go during the race?
For me, I think was like letting go of stuff. I think I've had a year where a lot of friendships have not they've become a bit distant. Right. And I think it's been like I didn't want them to be distant, but like I think it's just the right thing to do. I've been like I think trusting God a lot and just kind of being very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. I think that has been very, very hard to like kind of let go of, because I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm so vulnerable, but like not really. I like kind of still have that like shield up, but like now it's just broken. Like it's just out, like it's just gone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I think that was a weight that I like kind of had, but it's gone now. So.
Yeah, I think for me specifically, I think I had to let go, like, you know, basically just a consistency, you know, because I think that sometimes when you're on, you know, a certain level or a certain thing that you want to do in life, and you know you got your friends that's, you know, supposed to be supporting you, and you're supposed to put a balance between that and your friends, and sometimes it gets hard. But I start to think to myself, it's just like, are they really contributing to my growth?
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes you gotta let go of that dead weight, because when you think about it, millionaires like Elon Musk and what's another one?
I don't know.
Jeff Bezos. Like, think about it, like the top is basically lonely.
Yeah.
You know? But you're gonna still have God that's always gonna be on your side no matter what. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the ones.
I would say like worry. Like when things first started, I was like, well, you know, what is the year gonna look like? What is like my college gonna look like how are all these things gonna change because of COVID?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know what's next. Like, I really had to trust God because I was like, you really had no clue. Like, I feel like at the beginning, no one had any idea like what was going on, and we were all just kind of like looking at each other like, is it over yet? So I think that I had to like let go of my worry, and like Kennedy, like I don't like being emotional, like especially like even with God, I was like, I don't want to cry, I don't want to like feel these emotions because it's like too much energy and stuff, but I feel like you have to like let it go.
Yeah.
Like you have to find a way to like release that from your system, or it'll like make you sick. Like sometimes if I try to like hold in a cry for too long, I literally feel sick. So I think it just like came to like realizing to myself that you have to be vulnerable, you have to be able to like find those people and like your circle that you can do that with and feel comfortable.
Yeah. Also, I just figured out another one. I think another one for me is like self-doubt. I've just been meeting so many new people because of just like letting go of self-doubt, and I've been doing so many new things because of letting go of that. So
anxiety is real, you guys. Like even with COVID, like you don't see any people anymore, so now you don't have to talk to people, and it's just like it makes everything more complicated. But we'll work it through, okay?
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna go to the last question, and the question is, what does waiting and trusting looks like for you on God?
Okay, so for me, I am not the most patient person ever. I'm gonna be honest. But I feel like with COVID and Corona has really helped me with just being patient and waiting, because I think that like you never knew what was really gonna happen, and it was all just kind of like a surprise. You were just going with the flow of everything that was going on, and so I've just always like waiting on God has always been like one of my main like kind of struggles. And so like during COVID, I was like, okay, can you just wait? And like I just kept repeating myself. I kept repeating that to myself all the time. And I think waiting on Him and just me is like praying. Like I really like took upon like praying a lot and like just talking to God in my car, talking to Him like in school. Like I'm like, okay, God, please, like I'm really struggling with this. Like help me out. And I always just like ask Him for patience, ask Him to just guide me and like let me just understand like He's right next to me. And also, song suggestion, guys. I recently, Maverick City released a song called Wait on You, and that song is like so powerful to me because it's just talking about how you have like, if you wait on God, then you get more stronger and your faith would get more stronger. And I 100% believe that's true, because I feel like the more time you wait on Him, the more your trust is in Him. And I also had this like little keychain like on my car keys, and it was like a mustard seed. And there's like a verse in the Bible that says like, if you have faith as big as a mustard seed, then you can like move mountains. And a mustard seed like this big. I mean, like it is small. And like just having that reminder was like just crazy to think about. Like, okay, like if I trust in Him, if I have faith in Him, then like I can like move mountains. Like it's crazy. So
I kind of agree with you too. I think patience is the thing for me. And the funny thing about God is when you ask Him something, He will give it to you. But at the same time, He know you're not gonna handle it. Like He know you're not gonna handle it. But I think, for me, for example, I think that one day I asked for patience, and it's like, I think that day when I went to school, people was testing my patience. I was like, oh my goodness. So it's like, I came to the realization that God will give you something that is the opposite so you can have that. So it's like, He would send you, basically, people would test your patience so you can have patience.
Right.
So I think that was the one that was the biggest for me. What about you, Lauren?
I would say like I feel like there's seasons in my life where I've been like waiting on something, like something's gonna happen but you don't know what it is or like what it's gonna look like. So I think that like being patient and also like realizing that like your answer is not always gonna be in the form that you wanted it to.
for sure.
Because I felt like for a while before I started my podcast, like I was like, something's supposed to happen. Like I don't know what I'm waiting here for. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this time. So I literally was just asking God like lead me and I should follow. Like I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's happening, but like if you tell me where to go, I'm gonna go there, and however long it takes, it's gonna take. So I think that in the end, like it's all gonna go well. And in that time that we're waiting, I think it's like when we grow the most. I think of like James 1:8, which is like one of my favorite verses, which talks about like in time and in like struggle you mature. And like when you think about maturing, like it's painful. Like sometimes like your joints ache and you're like tired and stuff, but in the end, like it all works out. And like I think that it's like seeing that vision and like the light at the end of the tunnel is like the best part.
For sure.
Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. Because I didn't want to lose my thought. But like I think something I've always reminded myself as well is like God never wants to bring you down. Like God's always gonna want to bring you up. And I think that is something that just to remind yourself about, because I feel like some people are like, okay, why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
Like what is this? Like why would he do this to me? And I think it's like God is always gonna build you up, friend. Like he's never trying to knock you down or anything.
Right.
So
it's useful for something. Even
yeah,
if you don't
sure.
see it yet, it's useful.
For sure.
I think y'all said that because it's reminded me of that movie Incredibles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember when he came home from work, you know, it was like very miserable,
Yeah.
and he slammed the door and he saw the kid, and then he was like, "What are you waiting for, kid?" And he was like,
Oh yes.
"I don't know, something amazing, I guess."
Yeah.
But I think that it reminded me of this because, you know, God is basically waiting on us to actually, you know, get closer to him. And sometimes in certain seasons in our life, we drift away, but he's always there every step of the way.
Right.
So I think that's one of the amazing examples.
Oh my gosh, I've been thinking about that for a while. Oh, so I have like an illustration, you guys.
Right.
Okay, so if you think about you and God, I think that like we're always tethered to God, like imaginary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so like however far we go, we'll eventually come back, kind of like a spring, you know? And like there's always gonna be like this area where we're closest to him, and then like of course we can like go further. But I think that in some instances we think that we can go farther than we can actually go and end up in a place that we were never supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just like remembering to remain close to him is like a huge thing that I've been working on and like trying to be more consistent. So yeah.
And the more you do it, the more consistent you get.
Yes.
I think so.
I like that. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. So that is all that we have today for Tell the Truth About Running Your Race series. And we're so glad you guys have joined us. And we hope you guys join us next time. So yeah,
Catch you guys
see you
later.
See ya.
Bye.